The diner door exploded open with a crash that sent the cowbell above it clanging to the floor in pieces. A little girl stumbled in, barefoot, glass crunching under her feet. Her yellow sundress hung in tatters, streaked with dirt and tears. She was gasping, eyes huge and ancient with fear. "Please," she whispered, then louder, "please, he's coming." The lunch rush had died. The place was nearly empty. Betty, the gray-haired owner, was wiping tables. Two long-haul truckers nursed cold coffee at the counter. In the corner booth sat three men in worn leather cuts, Iron Riders MC. The tallest, a sun-beaten man in his 50s with hawk-sharp eyes, was called Hawk. Next to him was Jonesy, built like a side-by-side fridge with a beard down to his belt. The youngest, Cruz, had a road map of scars along his forearms. Everything froze. The girl's gaze swept the room and locked on the bikers. Something shifted in her face, recognition, maybe hope. Betty started toward her. "Honey, are you?" "He's right behind me," the girl cut in, voice cracking. Hawk set his fork down slow, like the world had just gone quiet on purpose. "Who's coming, kid?" he asked, calm as a held breath. "Mr. Garrett," she said. "He said no one would believe me." The door opened again, easy this time. A man stepped in, khakis, polo, neat hair, wedding ring, smile. The picture of respectable. "There you are, Emma," he said warmly. "You scared me half to death, sweetheart." Emma shrank against the counter. "No, no, no, no." The man, Garrett, sighed like a patient father. "I'm sorry for the trouble, folks. My daughter has episodes. She gets confused." Hawk hadn't moved, but the air around him felt heavier. "That right." Garrett offered a hand no one took. "Richard Garrett, school counselor at Riverside Elementary. Emma's been challenging." Emma's whisper cut the silence like a blade. "He's lying." Garrett's smile thinned. "Emma, we've talked about stories." She looked straight at Hawk. "My parents are in Seattle, Grandma's funeral. He picked today because no one was home. He's been watching me, watching kids. He took Sarah Martinez 3 weeks ago, her backpack still in his trunk." The diner went colder than the coffee. Garrett chuckled, but it cracked at the edges. "This is absurd. Let's go, Emma. Your parents are worried." "My parents are at a funeral," she repeated, stronger now. "Call Principal Davies, she'll tell you." Garrett's eyes flicked. School's closed, principal's gone home. Betty already had her phone out. "What's the number, hun?" Emma rattled it off. Garrett took a half step forward. "This is a family matter." Cruz shifted, quietly planting himself between Garrett and the door. Jonesy cracked his knuckles once, soft as distant thunder. Hawk's voice stayed level. "We'll wait for the call." Garrett's hand dipped toward his pocket. Hawk was there first, hand on the man's wrist, not rough, just unbreakable. "Hands where we can see 'em," he said. Betty's voice shook behind the counter. "Principal Davies? Yes, this is about Emma, she's what?" She listened, her face drained. "Missing since this morning," she told the room. "Emergency contact, Mr. Garrett said he'd go check on her." Garrett's mask slipped. For one heartbeat, everyone saw what lived underneath, flat, predator eyes. Then the smile snapped back, uglier now. "You have no idea who you're dealing with," he hissed. "Pretty sure we do," Hawk answered. Betty was already talking to 911. Garrett lunged fast, desperate, shoved Emma hard. She slammed into the counter. Cruz caught her before she hit the floor. Garrett made it 2 steps before Jonesy's arm caught him across the chest like a steel beam. The counselor hit the linoleum hard, breath whooshing out. Hawk dropped a knee between his shoulder blades, zipped Garrett's own belt around his wrists in one smooth motion. "Stay down," Hawk said, almost gentle. Sirens rose in the distance. Emma stood trembling in Cruz's shadow, tears finally spilling. "You okay, kid?" Cruz asked. She nodded, small and fierce. "He said nobody would believe me." Hawk glanced back, still pinning the man to the floor. "Kid, you just got believed by the exact right people." 2 minutes later, the diner filled with uniforms, flashing lights painting the walls red and blue. They found Sarah Martinez alive in storage unit 42, along with enough evidence to bury Garrett and half the quiet monsters he'd worked with for years. 17 names became 23 by the time the investigation ended. The bikers gave statements, ignored the side-eye some cops gave their cuts, and never left Emma's side until her parents' car screamed into the lot. Emma's mom hit the ground sobbing, wrapping her daughter so tight it looked like she'd never breathe alone again. Her dad shook Hawk's hand like he was trying to pass his heart through it. "Thank you," he kept saying, voice raw. Hawk shook his head. "Thank your girl, she ran, she spoke, we just didn't look away." Later, when the news trucks were gone and the diner lights dimmed, Emma ran to the 3 bikes idling in the lot. She pressed a folded napkin into Hawk's hand, a crayon drawing, 3 motorcycles, 3 riders, 1 small yellow figure safe between them and a dark shadow. Underneath, in careful letters, heroes. Hawk tucked it inside his vest, right over his heart. "Keep that fire, Emma," he told her. "World's gonna need it." She smiled, small, real, unbreakable. Months later, a letter showed up at their usual stop. No return address needed. Inside, a photo of Emma holding a Courage medal, grinning between her parents, and a new puppy wearing a tiny leather vest. The note ended. "P.S. Harley says hi. Thank you for teaching me that family isn't always the people you're born to. Sometimes it's the ones who stand up when you run to them barefoot and terrified." Hawk read it aloud at the counter, while Jonesy poured coffee, and Cruz pretended something was in his eye. When he finished, none of them spoke for a long minute. Then Jonesy raised his mug. "To the road," he rumbled, "and to kids crazy enough to trust it." They drank. Outside, 3 bikes waited under the sun, engines ticking as they cooled. The highway stretched both ways, endless, open, honest. Somewhere down it, another door might crash open. Another small voice might need someone to hear it. They'd be ready. They always were.